Welcome to Outdoors Radio with Dan Small, your source for the latest hunting and fishing information.
It's time now for an update on Lake Michigan fishing in the Sheboygan area, sponsored as always by Dumper Dan Sportfishing Charters, condos, and riverfront store right there on South Pier Drive in Sheboygan and on the web at dumperdan.com. He's also on Facebook at Dumper Dan Sportfishing Charters, and our interviews are posted on his Facebook page as well. Our second sponsor this week is Sly's Midtown Saloon. They're located at 508 North 8th Street in Sheboygan, on the web at slysbarandgrill.com, that's S-L-Y-S, and on Facebook at Sly's Midtown. Well, joining us once again from Sheboygan, from Dumper Central, is Captain Dan Welsch, Dumper Dan himself. Well, Dan, thanks for joining us again.
You betcha. I'm back and ready to talk fishing once again.
Well, how is the fishing?
Well, since we spoke last, which wasn't too long ago, it's improved 110%.
Good.
It's unbelievable.
Good. So what are you catching?
We're catching what we should be catching this time of year, and that's coho salmon, which is like the filet mignon of steak here for salmon on the grill. It's just delicious. They're fun to catch. They don't get very big in size, and they're not here all summer, so they're kind of a targeted species when they are here for everybody, from private anglers to charter boat captains. And I've even been taking my personal boat out to Robalo and catching some fish for the grill too. They run in size, Dan, anywhere from 3-4 pounds up to about 7-8 pounds. They average about 6 pounds, and they're just a really bright red meat and delicious to eat, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with filet of coho, and your Facebook page has some photos of, I guess, the fillets that you caught, the fish you caught, and grilling. What kind of grilling advice can you give us for dealing with cohos?
Grilling cohos is very simple, and that's what's really nice about it. You don't have to put a lot of seasoning on or sauces or anything like that. I mean, to be honest with you, Dan, salt and pepper is just perfect. I buy a seasoning, actually, that's here in town. It's at Meesville Meat Market. It's called Savory Salmon Seasoning, and it's a powder with all the ingredients in it. It's kind of like a Lowry's, but with more ingredients in it, targeted for fish, for on the grill, and it just gives it that extra flavor. At Meesville, they sell it there. I would highly recommend it. You probably have other seasonings at different places that are similar, but just a seasoning on top of the fish is plenty good. A little bit of butter, and that's it. And these fillets aren't as thick as like the Kings and the Lakers and the Steelhead, so they cook quick. You don't have to cook them real long. You cook them skin down on tin foil, very easy. A little bit of butter, gets real moist, and they're done real quick. And you take a spatula and just peel the fish, the meat right off the skin that sticks to the tin foil, and you put it right on your plate. It's very good.
Do you cover that fillet when you're grilling it or not?
I do not. I mean, when I get into we'll talk about that, later here in July and August. When we get into the king grilling, that's a little different. And that we wrap up a little more because the meat's 3 times as thick. And sometimes we have other recipes for that too, that we add more ingredients. But for the coho, just keep it simple. And you don't have to wrap it. You can physically see it cook. And, once it flakes up, you can't go wrong. I mean, you can't overcook it, can't undercook it really. I mean, it's pretty easy. And salt and pepper is just fine too, and Lowry salt, whatever, the seasoning I just mentioned, and that's it, and it's really good. And so my wife's favorite fish is the coho salmon, and that's why we go out in the Robalo and catch some and put them in the freezer for family, because we eat that quite often when the fish are here to be had. And that's this time of year, that later May and all of June into early July is when them cohos are here off the port of Sheboygan, and in the last few days we've caught limits of them for our clients. So 10 to 15, 20 fish a boat. So they're there to be had. So take advantage of it.
How are you catching them, Dan?
We're catching them up high in the water column, the top 30-foot range, because the water's still cold. I mean, it's warming up, and it warmed up enough to target these cohos to get to us. They migrate from the south end of the lake to the north end. They are here off Sheboygan right now. Port Washington was getting them real well last week. We knew they were heading this way. If water temp right now off Sheboygan's 46 degrees on the surface, down 50 feet it's 42 degrees. So they're in that top 30-foot range. We're catching them on little red dodgers, and green flies are just dynamite trolling for these coho salmon. Any small spoons, anything silver, orange, silver, green, silver, yellow chartreuse spoons, planer boards, little lead core setups, 1, 3, and 5 color lead core to get the spoon down a few feet in the water column work well. dipsies, downriggers, but keep everything up high, top 30 to 40 feet. They're always usually in the top 30. And when you get into these fish, Dan, you can get multiple hookups. I mean, you get in a school of them. They're chasing bait. And by the way, Dan, we got a pile of bait in the lake because there's fish everywhere chasing these shad and alewife. And you mark them on the graph, you mark them on the fish finders, and their bellies are full of them. So that's why these cohos are here as well. So once you find the bait, you'll find the coho. Look for that 45 to 50 degree water temp, and you'll be golden.
Yeah, and a double or a triple. And one time you and I were out with two fathers and their sons, and we actually boated 4 at once that were hooked. That can be more excitement than you would expect on a charter boat. And it's always fun on a charter boat.
It is. And you know how it is. You get 4 people back there, and 2 fish go one way and 2 go to the other way, and it's under one, over the top, and don't get them tangled, don't break the line, net the fish. It's action packed, and that's all I can get with these cohos. And don't get me wrong, too, Dan. We are catching a few kings, lakers, and steelhead or rainbow trout with these fish as well. So when you do go out on a given day, you're going to get a basket of cohos or a cooler full of cohos, but you're also going to get some larger fish like kings. We had a 24-pound king the other day that came in. That's our biggest of the year. Some of the lake trout are running 15 to 20 pounds. The steelhead are 8 to 10 pounds. So you get some variety too, and that variety is going to get better and better as the cohos start to slow down a little bit. Usually the rainbows and the kings and lakers kind of pick up the slack.
All right. Well, let's talk about our second sponsor, Sly's Midtown Saloon. They're on 8th Street. Gosh, they're open at 7 a.m. I don't know many bars that open at 7, and they serve a dynamite breakfast, I understand.
They do. Dave and Janet Sly own Sly's Midtown Saloon. I've been very good friends with them for a long, long time, and they got a great breakfast. You're right, Dan. And people line up at the door at 7 a.m., and I've drove by there already and seen it myself, and I've eaten there plenty of times, and their breakfast is delicious. They got a nice menu. They got a nice lunch menu. Very nice bar, right downtown Sheboygan, right in the heart of Sheboygan, and definitely a place to stop for a breakfast or for a lunch.
And I saw an event posted for next Wednesday, the 15th, Geritol Karaoke, music from the 50s and 60s. Maybe I should go.
I think you should. I'll meet you there.
Do you know any songs from that era?
Maybe 1 or 2, but yeah. I think I could handle it. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think I know the whole Beach Boys repertoire, so yeah. I might show up there one of those days. You never know. Well, okay, so we got to let you go, but how do people get a hold of you?
The phone's the best, and today was one of our record-setting days for phone calls. In fact, I got another one coming in right now as we speak, but we've had over 60 phone calls today. I answer the phone all day long. I answer all your questions. I get your reservation in, lodging, fishing, what have you, Riverfront Store. My number, 920-377-1147. Again, 920-377-1147. The best way to get a hold of me. Otherwise, dumperdan.com on the internet, Facebook page. We're posting every day, pictures, videos, Dumper Dan Sportfishing Charters on Facebook. So give us a call. Get your reservations in. June's just about full, and July's filling fast. August, we got some dates open. We will be running till the end of September. So get on out here. Let's get her done. Get some fish in your freezer.
All right. Well, Dan, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again in 2 weeks.
You got it, buddy. Thank you.
You bet. Dumper Dan Welsch with the report from Sheboygan on Lake Michigan action. Again, his website, dumperdan.com. And don't forget slysbarandgrill.com or Facebook, Sly's Midtown. I'm Dan Small. You are listening to Outdoors Radio.